presentation you have just reviewed is a mitigation plan developed to identify, assess, and limit or eliminate the most serious risks confronting Diamondback Energy Incorporated. Diamondback Energy is an exploration and production company in the oil and natural gas industry that has exhibited strong growth amongst its peers within the U.S. energy sector. Diamondback has an aggressive expansion plan for the near future, which depends largely upon stable crude oil and natural gas prices and on the mitigation of the operational risks it faces moving forward. By mitigating a number of operational risks identified in its business plan, Diamondback expects to continue its performance as a growth company. The company's revenues, operating results, profitability, and rate of growth depends significantly upon identifying, assessing, mitigating, and monitoring the following listing of risks faced by Diamondback and are addressed in this mitigation plan. 1. Price level and price fluctuations of oil and natural gas. 2. The trading in crude oil and natural gas derivative contracts. 3. The continual threat of cyber attacks. 4. Technological advances affecting energy production. 5. The risks associated with operating drilling rigs. 6. Weather conditions and natural disasters. 7. The replacement cost for damage to company property from its development, production, and drilling operations. 8. Business interruptions caused by nature or by man. Risk 1. Price and volatility risks have been a feature during recent years in the crude and oil natural gas markets. In 2015 and 16, Diamondback experienced a sharp downward pressure on these commodity prices, even though the company was the low-cost producer in the Texas region it operated in. To counteract the possibility of this reoccurring in late 2018 and early 2019, Diamondback will begin to hedge part of its production by purchasing put options strategically placed above its production costs to ensure profitability going forward. Risk number 2, cyber attacks. A new emerging threat to the company's operations are the risks identified from cyber attacks, which are designed to hack into and penetrate corporate security measures, breaching stored data files containing sensitive company information. To respond to these threats, the company must upgrade its protection program by contracting with a leading data security organization, a company which will provide Diamondback with hardware and software solutions designed to thwart these attacks and prevent unauthorized access to sensitive stored data. Risk number 3, technical obsolescence. Technical obsolescence is an area of concern for any business, and keeping abreast of the latest state-of-the-art methods represents a major challenge for corporate risk managers in preventing the firm from lagging behind, yet exploiting new methods of increasing production more efficiently. A recent drilling technique has been introduced that can double Diamondback's production from hydraulic fractured wells. This technique must be tested and evaluated for its application to the company's fracking program. Zipper fracking is a new procedure which accelerates production and enhances oil and natural gas output. This procedure requires the drilling of 2 wells side by side, and upon completion of drilling of both wells, they are simultaneously fracked using water, chemicals, and sand particles to fracture the shale rock formations, releasing greater volumes of oil and natural gas for recovery. Risk number 4, oil rig blowouts. Diamondback Energy drills about 150 wells currently each year, with 9 drilling rigs in inventory to handle this assignment. Well blowout events occur whenever the pumping pressure inside the well casings are too great and can no longer be contained, and an uncontrollable stream of gas, oil, water, chemical, and sand particles erupt and spill onto the surrounding land, creating an environmental crisis. The company, in accordance with EPA rules and regulations, is charged with the responsibility to clean up the damage to the environment caused by this accident. Diamondback draws upon the loss control concept of reducing the frequency of well blowouts through the introduction of new technology that the oil and gas industry has developed as a result of the British Petroleum Deepwater Horizon blowout in 2010. The development of a blowout preventer unit, the BOP, is attached to the base of an oil drilling rig. This unit regulates and maintains a constant pressure on the fluid mixture in the well casings and will shut down pumping operations automatically if a certain pressure level is exceeded. Shutting down will prevent the wells from venting uncontrollably into the surrounding environment. Diamondback's rig personnel will undergo a training period in the use, control, and monitoring of the devices from the manufacturer as soon as the purchase of the BOPs is completed. Risk number 5, environmental risks. Hydraulic fracking uses millions of gallons of fresh water in the process of fracturing shale rock formations. Shale is stratified, soft, sedimentary rock which contains crude oil and natural gas deposits. In the fracking process, Diamondback introduces a number of contaminants into the water it uses. The water needs to be cleaned, disinfected, and recycled and prevented from re-entering into the environment. A mobile frac water management treatment system has been developed which will treat the contaminated water economically and will recycle it for further use. The system complies with all EPA environmental regulations. Diamondback will begin using this new treatment system in the fourth quarter of 2018 in its commitment to a clean environment. Risk number 6, natural disasters. Diamondback operates in an area that is prone to earthquake activity and occasional hurricanes. These potential natural disasters represent a continuous threat, and the company must consider ways to mitigate the severe damage they may inflict upon Diamondback's property and equipment. To anticipate and minimize the effects of a natural disaster, company personnel can be organized into special teams, each of which are assigned specific mitigation responsibilities. In addition, a comprehensive review of the firm's limited liability insurance coverage is needed for review and updating. To meet the challenge of a major disaster that exceeds the liability coverage, the company will look to upgrade its umbrella policy in the face of much greater financial exposure. Risk 7, property damage. The effect of property damage on Diamondback can be devastating and can curtail drilling operations for an extended period of time. Since Diamondback conducts most of its operations in an area known for an occasional geographic shift in its terrain, the risk is characterized as moderate but likely to occur, however. An emergency response plan is needed, one that includes a highly trained staff that previously identified vulnerable sites and is capable of taking immediate action within the first few minutes of an incident to minimize the potential damage to company property and equipment. Other useful on-hand measures include fire protection equipment, first aid supplies, written shutdown procedures, and contact information for local police and fire departments and hospitals in the area. Risk number 8, business interruptions. To complete this mitigation plan, it is imperative to confront the possibility of a period of prolonged business interruption caused by a natural disaster, a man-made accident, or the loss of key personnel. The company currently has a business insurance program which is inadequate and fails to provide Diamondback with sufficient coverage in the event of a business interruption of extended duration. To address this situation and correct the insurance program's shortcomings, an in-depth review of the terms and conditions of the company's insurance policy coverage, including its limitations, must be conducted. A review of the company's crisis management plan is advised in order to determine the level of financial resources needed for an unexpected period of shutdown. The review will include the considerations of supply chain logistics, the ongoing day-to-day expenses incurred, and the potential additional expenses which the new threats pose. Additionally, Diamondback will consider purchasing an umbrella policy to supplement the financial coverage that the business policy excludes.